Am I breaking up a little bit when I talk, guys? Just a little quick check.
Sound good with me.
Fine with me.
All right, cool. My internet connection is sucky right now, so I apologize if there's like a space in between me and you talking, Raymond. Maybe I missed something, but hopefully I don't. And with that being said, I'm going to start in 5 seconds. Get ready, everyone. Said, sure, I'm always going to step in. You know, that may sound good, that may sound bad, whatever. But today, hell of a person. Hey, and stop with all that stuff down there, that 777-666. Come on, guys, we got to be professional. Anyway, Raymond Speaks. Are you there, brother?
Yes, I am. You cut out a bit there while you were introducing me. So I'm sure I caught the end of it there. Well, it was wonderful, and so I thank you very much for that.
Oh, and I'm sorry if I cut in and out, guys. Just do let me know if I cut in and out. I'll try to go back and say a few things. But we're gonna jump right into it. Thank you for joining Crypto and Coffee and Crypto. I know you guys are like, why do you keep saying that? Just in case one of them's wrong, I got it right by saying it. The other thing, and I'm gonna start off with the first question of the day. Raymond Speaks. How did you find Steemit?
Oh my God, that's a long-winded question. I've been in cryptocurrency since 2013. My friend said, "Oh, I've just got this coin called Dogecoin. I mined 200,000 of them, and they're worth £1 and £1 is worth about £200." So I thought, "Oh, this is good," and I sort of dived in it for about 6 months, finding out how to mine, finding out how to do everything about Bitcoin and Dogecoin and Litecoin was famous around about then. And one thing happened. One thing led to another along my journey, and I was sitting on the Discord. What's the other one? Slack. The name of it now. It was a gambling coin. It was a Slack there, and we were really quite. And some people were talking about Steemit. Steemit had just basically piloted then, and they were like, "Oh yeah, Steemit's a scam." So I thought, right, okay, what is this Steemit? So I joined Steemit, wrote my first post, and got $300 for it. And I was like, holy shit, man, I need to be in this. And then my second post got about $20, and then my third post got $1,600, and my fourth post got $1,600 too. I got 2 net upvotes, and that was it. I was like, wow. And that sent me on a holiday to Germany that year. And then after that, I went down to 0.01 pence. And I'm not joking, that fall was so hard that I stopped Steemit for a year. And then I came back and I realized the value in, creating communities and so on. So that's kind of where I'm at the moment.
Now that sounds like a hell of a journey. I don't know if Chief Maps or cuss on his podcast, but we're gonna do just a tiny bit of cussing. But that is a hell of a journey. I mean, I would have jumped off about. I would have been that Elmo if that happened to me, right? Like 1,000, and then like it goes, a little bit. I'm off the balcony, guys. Now, how do you feel about Steemit nowadays? Because I see that you're still posting. So how do you feel about it now?
Personally, there's still a little bit of me that likes Steemit. I mean, it's the essence of it, the core essence of Steemit is really well-meaning, but I find it hard as a content creator myself. I'm very well networked in with other content creators who are not in cryptocurrency, and I've invited a lot of them into Steemit and said, like, yeah, come in here and earn some money. And actually, these are people like with hundreds of thousands of followers on blogs and things, and they'll come in and they'll get about 1 pence and then say, "Oh, that's not really good, is it?" And then they'll walk off. But I sort of see where they're coming from, because why should they spend hard time working on Steemit where they make their own hundreds of thousands on their own, But I personally, I see the value in Steam It, but I at the moment, I really feel it's been sucked up by Upvote bots. And I don't know if you want to get into that conversation, but I really feel the value of Steam has been sucked up by Upvote bots at the moment. No one's been rewarded properly. It's just so easy to delegate your and then forget about it and get paid, and no one's been really properly rewarded. It's turned into a sort of system where you only get somewhere if you pay for it, and I mean, I have my own community. You guys have your own community. I've spoken with other people who have their own community, and even with having large communities, I find that unless you've got a few whales in there, which is hard, it's hard to get anywhere really. At the moment, I'm very down on Steam at the moment, but I still sort of think the core of it is where I am.
All right, just to check that my connection isn't playing tricks on me. You stopped talking, right, Raymond?
Yes, I did. I did.
No, you're good because my connection was just playing tricks on me. All right, we'll get into the bidbot conversation a little bit later because I definitely want to talk about that because that is one of those things that needs to be talked about. But if I've done my research right, you have your own magazine. Is that correct?
I do. I have my own magazine. My own magazine with I have 2 editors, and I have several writers who work for me. I just recently took on another editor who has a lot of. She's well connected, so she's getting a lot of really well people starting to write for me, which is exciting. Yeah, I've got that magazine. I also started another 2 2 blogs recently where one's a satire cryptocurrency blog and then the other is a cryptocurrency blog. So I started those 2, and from the Man Cave, which is my Discord server, one of my co-people has started up his own magazine for men, which is interesting. Thanks for that, John Scotts. So he's now creating his own magazine for men, which is encompassing everything to do with men. So yeah, quite a lot. I do a lot. I try.
Now, how hard is it? Like, is it like a digital magazine only, or like a paper magazine too? And how hard is it to like start, run, and maintain a magazine?
Well, at the beginning, right, it's very, very hard at the beginning because you have to get networked in with a load of people. I mean, no one knows right at the start, right? You might be the most knowledgeable person in the world. At this, might be, you might know everything, but until you network with people and get to know people, then no one's going to know you. No one's going to come to your magazine. They're going to go, who the hell are you? Why should I need to go and read you when I could go and read, BuzzFeed or whatever? So you have to get networked in with people that really, really know what they're doing. That's the first thing. And then after that, you need to start sort of growing like a network of followers. And then after that, you need to get people interested in writing for you because you need to put out there that, yeah, because what I did was I wanted to expand my conversation. So I realized that my viewpoint is only one viewpoint. There's millions of viewpoints. So I tried to get other people to get in on it, and they did. They gladly started writing for me, and I've hired an editor who also had her own bank of people that wanted to write for her. So yeah, sort of like very low maintenance because I have two editors that do all my work for me and writers that do all my work for me, and I just sit back and go, That's nice. Look at my magazine, it's working all on its own now. But it's really, really hard at the start, I must admit.
What gave you the idea and the passion to even want to start a magazine? And we'll get into you podcasting in a minute, but what gave you the passion to even want to start doing a magazine and then keep doing it after that?
Okay, well, I I don't know if I talk about this often. I don't know if I'm flogging a dead horse, but I come from a very bad background. So like, I've been involved in drugs and bad people and bad gangs and things like that. I was a really, I wasn't a nice person when I was younger. And one fateful day, I'd lost my job because of alcohol, and I was sitting there and I was thinking, what the hell am I doing with my life? So I decided I'm going to go clean, and I got myself involved in the charity sector. Who this charity took me on and said, like, if you stay clean, we'll help you. And I didn't have for most of my life, all I'd been doing is like admin work and picking up some catering work here and there and waitering and doing bar work. I didn't really have any skills or experience. So what this charity did is they basically, they spotted the awesome in me and pulled it out. So like they seen what I was good at, and they drew it out of me and made me even better at it. So I'll lose my train of thought here. Yeah, so it started off like that. They said, "Oh, I noticed you like IT, Raymond. Why don't you teach IT in the community?" So I did that. I went to college to learn to teach IT in the community, and I started off lightly, and then I just then that job ended because I run out of money, and I went to university after that to study computing. And along came another job, which was project management. And it was basically setting up an IT cafe and so on. And, one thing led to another, and I got into managing a team of volunteers. And I really, really liked the communications and relationship side of project management, because I realized that I was actually really good with people. And when that job ended, took to the internet and started a relationship blogger, because I realized that I actually really liked people, and I really liked relationships, and I really liked creating relationships between people. And that's how the relationship blogger was born, and that's magazine was born. There we go.
That was beautiful. That touched my heart. A digital tear just came out from my digital eyeball. That was touching. I always love when people come from bad situations to rise up to greatness. It's just beautiful. Now I also hear that you do a podcast. Does my research fail me, or am I correct?
You're correct. I podcast on hold at the moment because I wanted I've got the man cave, and I wanted to do the podcast in the man cave. Obviously, like you guys are doing here, I thought that would be a great idea to have an audience as well. But that's not transpired yet, because what happened to me is I slipped a left back, and it's put me out of sorts for 2 months. I mean, today is like the second or third day I've been able to sit down and do proper work for a whole day. But the podcast Men in Masculinity started off with just me and this gentleman called. He's a professional wrestler, actually. When he first started with me, he was only getting into it, and he was training. And we talk about the sort of feminine side of masculinity, and the bits that aren't right. And then we brought on a relationships counselor. She's an actual counselor with a PhD. She's certified in that. And she came, and we discuss all things like, white male privilege and all that sort of stuff, that touchy stuff, and our thoughts on it, and how it makes us feel, and so on. And now it goes really well. We've got hundreds and hundreds of listeners, but the back burner now for about 2 months because, as I say, I wanted to merge it into the man cave and got put out of action, unfortunately.
Now, what's the overall, like? All right, let's say I was just like new. What is the man cave in its whole essence?
The man cave, in its essence, I mean, the foundation and the way the reason I founded it was because if you look on Facebook and or any sort of popular magazine, everywhere it's down on men, and I just want to create like, I mean, a safe place for men to come and I know that a safe place sounds needy and pathetic, but actually no, it's a place where men can come and be what they want to be. Because when the awesome was taken out of me, I I learned how to take the awesome out of other people, and I've also brought on people and my top tier who are also great at bringing out the awesome in people. I learned how to speak that. I learned how to spot that. So we got that's probably the essence. But a safe place for men to come and be whatever they want to be. The world is your oyster.
You know what? I can agree with that. Men definitely need a safe space where they can be a little bit feminine and let out their secrets. So you know what? I am totally down for the man cave. I'm definitely going to join the server and tune in. Now, when you're podcasting or when you were podcasting, what was something that kept you going and kept you wanting to podcast? Because as a fellow podcaster, sometimes it gets hard, you know what I mean? But what's the little things that keep you going and keep you wanting to podcast?
Talking about difficult things. The things that no one else wants to talk about because it's too I know people get riled up, and actually knowing with your other podcasters that you can talk about them and we can disagree on it and not get flamed and not get totally bent out of shape because the whole every single one of us has a different opinion. We don't always agree, but yeah, it's good to know that I could actually talk about it with my other two podcasters without, the police being called or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Hello?
Old times, old times. Now, when are you going to start podcasting back up? Because I know that you said that you are now just getting into the groove of things. When do you see starting the whole podcast thing back up again?
Soon. I've been on a few podcasts now. This is my third or fourth time being on a Discord hangout, and I actually realised that there's a whole different because beforehand we would just use something like Skype and the three of us would talk together like we're having a conversation, but I'm sort of watching you and watching everybody else and realising that the dynamics are very different, so I'll probably have to sit there and figure it out. So maybe in a month's time or so, give me a bit on that.
Oh, that's going to be awesome. And you said you run a couple other magazines, or have a couple other magazines, am I right?
Yes. Well, I started two blogs. One is a crypto blog, which I'm sort of mainly started for just the passion of crypto, really. I like writing about cryptocurrency and all the coins that are out there. And another one is I have a very, very dark side to me. I mean, there's a very, very dark humorous side. Yeah, there's a very dark humorous side to me, and I started a satire crypto blog because I've never ever seen a blog out there that has a satirical perspective in cryptocurrency, so I started that.
Oh, there's a vent lounge in the man cave, huh? Oh, I'm definitely going to have to go there when I'm screaming about bid bots.
Oh yeah. I mean, the vent lounge hasn't been used. I mean, we've been quiet in the man cave recently since I've been out of action. But the vent lounge, yeah, swear, shit, curse, whatever you want.
connections for tricking me. But are women allowed inside the man cave?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, most of my I say I went from not having a trade, being an alcoholic, not having any life prospects, means that the doctors are me off as being someone that was going to be face down in the ground by I was, 39, 40. And here I am, 38, fully skilled, with loads of things under my belt. And a lot of that has to be attributed to the help of empowering women. So women definitely are allowed in the man cave.
That's beautiful, man. I love that. Women in the man cave. Because usually the man cave would insinuate that there are no women. But you know what? Women in the man cave? Oh, yeah. Wait, I'm asking because you yes. Oh, John Scott, look at you making those jokes. Now, let's touch on the topic of bid bots. I know. But how do you personally, deeply feel about bid bots, right? You touched on it a little bit. I happen to be neutral about the whole thing, right? Because to me, it's kind of one of those advertising things. But I also see how it drowns out good content and how good content can't make it up there. But I mean, how do you feel about bid bots, and what would you do to change bid bots, or how would you combat bid bots or make it easier for content creators to rival with people using bid bots?
I've thought about that a lot, I'm very, 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 very anti bidbot, and I mean, because basically the whole essence of bidbots is they make us pay for something that should be free, right? So it's basically like someone coming at the local fountain of water and putting a barricade around it and saying, "Nah, this fountain's no, mate. You have to pay for this fountain now. Um, you have to pay for this fountain to get any water out of it." And that is how I see bidbots. I don't like anything that's normally free, and when you have to pay for it, that's that's my complete take on that. I'm not sure how to combat them because I know um, I understand that bidbots they make it easier to if you've got a lot of steam. Which I mean, in essence, I get it. If you've got a lot of money, you put it in Steam, then you transfer it to a bidbot, and you get lovely credits back from it, and it totally simplifies sitting there checking through great content. I don't know, but I hate them. I really, really hate them. I tell you, if I was a Steam whale, I would dedicate at least an hour of my time to upvoting great content. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I'm right there with you. I mean, I hate him, but then I don't hate him because hate is such a strong word. It's such a strong word. And I've seen a couple people profit, I think, just like a couple percent, right, off of BidBots. But I also think BidBots should have like their own page, right? So if you use BidBots, it should be on the BidBots trending page. And then if you don't use BidBots, it should be a different trending page for that. You know what I mean? Just one way to kind of separate the two. But if it was up to you, if you were mayor of Steemit, would you get rid of them, or would you find a place for them, or would you put like a cap on them?
Damn, I'd get rid of them. I'd get rid of them. I do not believe. I honestly do not believe in paying for something that is free. I mean, it's free for the whale to upvote you, but they're like, no, you have to pay me now for my upvote. Screw you, mate. And I don't like that.
Yeah, I remember back in the days when you didn't have to pay for. You know what? You're right. Because when you didn't have to pay for upvotes, it was great to get a huge upvote, right? And then you saw that and you're like, oh my gosh, that's so great. So I don't know how that feeling still is when like, because I've never used BidBots before. That's just not my thing. So like, I just don't know the feeling of like when you see your post at like $600, but you spent like $1,000 to get it up there. Do you still feel the same way? I'm not sure. If anyone has used BidBots, please let me know how you feel when you use bid bots, you see um, your post rewards go really high, but then you know that you probably spent more than your post rewards. But let's talk about a different side of it, which is, yeah, using the bid bots costs money, right? But then you get a lot of interaction because you're really high up there. So how do you feel about that type of thing? Because some people use bid bots to get more interactions, get more followers, and for the most part, it is somewhat successful, right? So, I mean, isn't that kind of okay, right? Like when you get like 300 comments and a whole bunch of views, even though I took the view counter off. I mean, I feel to me it's like paid advertising in the sense, and it sucks because people who don't want to pay suffer from it. But I mean, if you do pay, there are some benefits to it, right?
I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. I think because I mean, a couple of last year, some of my posts, or a lot of my posts, were in about $100, $200 at one point, and I had loads of people commenting on me. And then once the introduction of Bitbots came in, and that fell out, so did my followers.
I have a what are those things when you have something that you want to say? What's the word for that? Oh man, confession. I have a confession to make, guys. Let me
What's
take
that?
a deep breath. Let me take a deep breath. Well, I have two confessions. Okay. First is love you, Soy Rosa. The second one is I knew one of the guys who created one of the first bid bots, I believe, and I actually encouraged him to do it. And now I feel kind of bad because I was like, yeah, do it. But then like now I'm like, hey, maybe I should have like sent a hitman to your house or maybe like just like broke your computer. So I really feel bad about that one. Like, I didn't, because there's no way that that anyone I think could have anticipated how much BitBots would have ruined the platform. Oh God, hold on. Not ruined, impacted the platform. Let me stay gender neutral here. So it's hard to see how they were going to influence the platform. And now in hindsight, I guess we could have done without them. We could have just I don't know. But I honestly think that Bitbot owners should you know half of the Bitbot's power should be used for the Bitbots. And let's not make that a thing. Hashtag blame lunchbox. That would make me cry with laughter. But I feel like BidBots owners should also be giving out free upvotes to real content creators. You think that could be a thing, Raymond?
Yes, and not just I mean and not just content creators like me, everyone. I mean, one thing that I'm trying to do in the man cave is reward people for trying. You could see the difference between someone who's tried really damn hard on a post and someone who's just like tried, done something, and it's like a load of trash. And you know, hello.
Oh, sorry. I thought my connection was cutting out, so I didn't want to interrupt you. No, I hear you, man. I hear you on that. Geez, and now I'm feeling slightly bad about encouraging this one person, and I'm not going to name his name, but if you guys know, the good coders, he's in Steam Speak. Yeah, I'm not going to go there. But I feel like people should make posts compelling to the Bitbot owners to have, some of that voting power go to people who can't, because some people just can't afford to use Bitbots like they would want, right? Because I mean, and it's crazy how people use like 20 million Bitbots, and it's like I can't even wrap my head around how using Bitbots, though I'm sure it's pretty easy. It's just like I I can never just send Steam away to Bitbots, right? I could never just be like, here, take my money, and in return, I'm going to get followers and comments because it's crazy to think that when you don't use them, you don't like most of the people that are using Bitbots, if they didn't use them, they would not be getting the interactions that they are. And yeah, I feel for them that way. And so that's why I think that a lot of people use them, right? They're like, let me just do it so I can get more followers. But then it raises the question, are those people genuinely into your content, or are they there for curation? Because personally, I'm there for curation, right? If you got that post up to $1,000, guess what? I'm there. I need some of that. I need to take some of that. I'm telling all my friends about it. They're going to tell their friends about it. And before you know about it, you just lost a ton of money. And I think that we need to educate people on bidbot usage and how it does affect the platform. Because I've seen so many new people come in, see the bidbots, but they don't have the proper education, right? They don't have the someone telling them like, well, hey, every time you use a bidbot, not only does a kid in Africa die and starve, but you're ruining the platform. So I feel like there should be some type of class or Discord or post made every week, just kind of educating people. How do you feel about that, Raymond?
I like that, but I just while you were talking there, I also had another solution to bidbots, or one that one that I would be happy about. I mean, I think a lot more people would use bidbots if you like, say, put in $10 worth of Steam and got $50 back, hardly making any money. Would that be a viable solution?
I think that'd be a viable solution. I would agree with that because I feel like bid bots, I mean, they're just like rich people trying to get richer, right? So I feel like there should be a balance between the bid bot people making money and then the people using the bid bots making money. Because if not, I don't see how people don't sit there and go, man, I'm losing here, right? Like, and then stop and go, you know what? I want to stop losing and I want to at least break even or come out a little bit of ahead, which is one thing that baffles me. Like, people, they go in, they use these bid bots, they don't come out ahead. So it's like, how? Where's their brains at, right? Like, what are they thinking?
Well, that's what I don't understand. I mean, I've tried. I haven't used them. Well, I've used one. I can't remember. I might have been a wee while ago, but I remember going on that big huge bidbot site, and it's like, you have a potential to lose money here, and I'm thinking, well, that if I'm going to lose money, I mean, isn't the whole idea of Steam to get on and get voted up and make money? So why would I want to pay this person X amount to lose money? That's stupid.
That's very true, right? Because you're supposed to be able to come here, blog, post without whatever, and then earn money pretty much. But now it's like you come here to spend money to get followers. And Boyer Roberts had said something. How do you make money without followers, right? In the sense, like, most of the people who do end up following you are just minnows. So like, once you stop using bidbots, it's kind of like using heroin. It's like, once you stop using heroin, you're not getting supplied anymore. You know what I mean?
It's very true. Well, look, my the magazine that I'm talking about, that's got thousands and thousands of followers, and for that I just put content out, keep my domain alive, and pay for hosting. I mean, that's got to be a lot more cheaper. That so if it was really about followers and comments, and surely they would read it or start their own blog or something like that.
I don't know. It's such a complex but simple thing to tackle because it's like, when you think about it, yeah, you're getting the exposure, but from using bid bots, it's not like whales come and go, that content's great. I'm gonna keep auto voting that. Nope, nope. You just get the small people who are worth like 1 to 3 cents, right? Which, anyone out there who's only worth 1 to 3 cents, my name is SirLunch, the host, and you matter too. Your 3 cents is a great 3 cents, but I'm still saying, for spending all that money, what are you really getting other than a false satisfaction that you're on a trending page? Because that's another thing that I thought about. Like, how do you feel good being on the trending page, knowing that your content um, didn't solely boost it up there, right? It wasn't just your talent or whatever you did. It's the fact that you had to spend money. That has to feel, right? Like, that can't feel too good, right?
I could only assume that. I could only, because I've never done that before, but I could only assume that that would feel not very good. Not very good at all. I know how I didn't pay for it, and I got that 1,600 upvote from Ned, and it was like, holy crap! I can go to Germany this year. This is fantastic. I know how that felt.
Going on a vacation. Shout out to Ned for sending him on a vacation. We need Ned to come out and just start voting for people again, and then just undiscriminately. So as content creators, we can do our thing again. Now, with that being said,
Vote. I've never seen that. I never heard anyone go, "Well done, you got an head upvote" anymore. Well, that used to be quite a common thing for people when I first started. I remember we're like, "Oh yeah, you got an head upvote, well done, man." But now it's like you never hear or see that anymore.
I imagine that your name has to start with Sweet SSJ and then your name to get one of those Ned votes. But I even think maybe she doesn't get Ned votes. Someone do a check for me real quick. Someone do a check and see if Sweet SSJ gets Ned votes or if she's using BidBots too. That would be very interesting. Yeah, see, you have to be young, Asian, and travel the world, I guess, to
Okay,
get those.
okay.
There's a rumor behind that I don't want to say because I don't want to ruin, Chief Maps just coffee and crypto and coffee show. So I'll just save that for later. But yeah, like the story goes that Sweet SSJ met Ned at the first Steam Fest, and then she starts getting votes. That's all I'm going to say about that. Shout out to Sweet SSJ though. Good job nabbing those Ned votes forever. Please tell us your secrets. We definitely need to know.
I'm not going to assume anything. I just maybe she was a lovely person and Ned was so transfixed by her. You thought, damn, I'm going to have to give her all my votes.
Oh, in a perfect world, I'm pretty sure that's how that works. Oh, geez. We're not even going to go down that rabbit hole because that can be a very deep rabbit hole, right? But with that being said, is there anything else that you do besides podcasting and doing the magazine that's kind of related to crypto or even outside of crypto?
I don't know if this is relevant, but one thing I wanted to do with the man cave, and then I realized how much of a large project it is, and I thought, oh well, actually maybe wait till if it does grow big. As I'm heavily involved in my local community, like I sat on a few what do you call them? I don't anymore, but I used to. I sat on the board of trustees on like the Citizens Advice Bureau. I was involved a lot with local charities. I volunteered here and there. And one thing I wanted to do is I wanted to, bring the man cave into my local community. So I'm heavily involved in, or I used to be heavily involved in my local community, and I wanted to get back into that. But once, maybe when we're a big thing, not when we're a small thing, because I was reaching out to my contacts in the charity centre and charity sector when I first started the man cave, and I was just like, yeah, you want to do this? And I was thinking, actually, we need this, we need cover for this, I'll need all this, and I was like, maybe not.
Well, you know what, man? Everyone should be involved in some type of charity. Like, yeah, I think that at least do charity once a year. If you can't do it, once a month. I'm definitely going to start doing charity. I'm actually going to do a toy drive for kids. Me and where is he at? Ginger Samurai. We're going to be doing that together. That's going to be awesome. Either around November or December, and we're probably going to vlog about it. Yep, yay. So yeah, I encourage people, if you can get up, go outside, get off Steam it, and stop complaining about how things are, and do a charity and feel good for yourself. With that being said, is there anything else that you would like to touch on, Raymond?
I think we've touched on everything. I think so, pretty much so far at the moment. I think I've do all done.
We totally did not touch on what you ate for breakfast this morning.
I skipped breakfast this morning, actually.
Jeez. You were supposed to be like, I had coffee and crypto this morning.
No. Okay, I had coffee and crypto this morning. Honestly.
There you go. And yes, Soy Rosa, lunch is the best meal of the day. That could have a double meaning. I'm just going to let that be because that is another rabbit hole we could go down that we're not going to go down. But with that being said, we are going to be wrapping up this episode of Coffee and Crypto and Coffee. Oh, I can't wait for Chief Mapster to hear this and be like, God damn it, lunch. He's going to love it. Thank you to our lovely guest, Ramondspeaks. That was a great session, great interview. Thank you guys for introducing me to the man cave. I'm definitely going to be going in there, definitely going to be hanging out. And I can't wait. Hopefully, I'll be able to get on one of Raymond Speaks shows with them or one of his podcasts and talk about my womanly, manly feelings. That probably was very insensitive. Womanly, manly feelings. I don't know. But definitely, I want to get on there. It's going to be awesome. And we're going to end on what's a piece of advice that you would give to a newbie joining Steam at Raymond? Can I just not hear him? Or is he just not talking? Oh, okay, yeah, because he's not talking. Steve Raymond. God, this connection thing is going to kill me. But I'm just going to pretend to be Raymond. A piece of advice that I would give new users is don't use bid bots and come to the man cave. Beautiful. And you know, Raymond Speaks was my first awkward silence. So he gets an award. Someone make that guy a trophy. All right, because I've never had an awkward silence, but I just got one, and that felt great. You know, like I've never known how that felt, but it's like when you ask a girl out and she just stares at you, like, hey, you want to go out? She's just like, yeah, that's what that feels like. But thank you guys for tuning in. I'm assuming that Raymond, since he forgot to eat breakfast, he's doubling back to go get some breakfast. Thank you for joining and sitting in on this episode of Coffee and Crypto. Check out next week, Wednesdays at 12 p.m. PST. And this is, oh, he just left. Raymond, look at you. Oh, I was going to make a joke about, this is not my show. Don't do it. Stay in the lines, lunch. Staying in the lines. Here we go. All right. This has been a wonderful episode. Yeah, focus, right? I got to focus. I don't want you maps to get mad at me. All right, this has been a great episode of Coffee and Crypto. I was your stand-in host for Chief Maps SirLunch, the host. And I don't know if he has after parties, but it is now time for the after party. And I'm going to go make myself a cup of green tea with lemon